don't feel guilty. It's a very misunderstood thing about self-harm. It's not a put it in a box, let's hide it, let's put it in another suitcase. It's not a dark thing. It's okay, find someone or find somewhere and start talking about it. Just talk about it. And it doesn't have to be everybody. Talk about it, because I think we're not having those conversations for those who are going through it, but those who are around them. Don't just ignore. You know, I think if you've seen in society, a lot of the people who commit and actually succeed in committing suicide are the people where guys are like, but he was so happy, he was so jovial. Check on your person. Check and see, how are you really doing? Do you understand? So I think it's a joint effort. So for me, I'm a very open person, and I had a candid conversation. The harder person was my mother. When I told her this and this and this is what's happening, I am in hospital, she couldn't understand it. She thought it's a lifestyle. She said, oh, are you living a lifestyle that is more than... I'm like, no. It isn't about that. It is just what I am going through. So it was harder to break it to my mom than it was to my children and the people around me. So now I have no problems talking about it. Like you said, I'm no longer emotional about it. I am purposeful about it.
They're now engaging also in policy dialogues, starting to think about how to change the mental health landscape in Kenya and in East Africa. Beginning with our engagement has been around suicide and suicide prevention. And we are huge advocates for decriminalization of suicide attempts, so that people who have suicidal ideation or suicide thoughts can seek help and get help, rather than being stigmatized and treated like outcasts. So over the past 5 years or so, this advocacy rose to the level of influencing the presidency to declare that we have a crisis in mental health in this country. And so in 2019, towards the end of 2019, the government formed a task force on mental health in Kenya. And I was privileged to sit on that task force. And within 3 months, we had gone around the country, collected views, collected opinions, and looked at the state of mental health in the country. And we produced a report that was received by the Ministry of Health and by the Office of the President in 2020 July. And the government committed to implementing the recommendations in that report. Most significant findings from this work is that among the participants, a huge proportion of the women who participated indicated that they had lost somebody to suicide, while a smaller proportion of men indicated that they have lost somebody to suicide. To my mind, this highlights the caregiving role that our society has assigned women, and so they take care of people with mental health problems, self-harm, and so on. The second thing that we picked from this study was the fact that more men now are admitting to having suicidal ideas compared to women. And this completely flips the script, because in the past, we have always held that women experience a lot more suicidal ideation than men. But in this particular study,